Non c'è mandato informazioni, non c'è mandato informazioni, già fatta la pasta, a starare, fanno un po' di informazioni.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce the speakers of this beautiful dairy conference, and then I will explain what this dairy conference is about. Here next to me is Stephanie Carl. She's a nutritionist, dietitian, which will say a few words about nutritional values of dairy products in general. And Giuseppe Bonetti is the European food distributor, which works in Dubai, distributing some of the European dairy and not only dairy products. We also have Chef Amit standing there and ready with his cooking demonstration table. We can invite Chef to our panel. We also wait for the Czech Moravian Dairy Association President, Mr. Jiří Kopaček, which is coming in a few moments. So he's coming along with few producers and few representatives of the dairies which are the members of the Czech Moravian Dairy Association. Czech Moravian Dairy Association is the initiator of EU Milky Way campaign. This campaign is an international campaign promoting dairy products from European Union, mainly from Czech Republic. There are cream cheese, there are yogurts, there are milk, condensed milk, ultra UHT milk, there is milk powder. There's a big range of products with desserts and curd desserts, yogurts, cream cheese desserts, and this campaign is mainly targeting Emirates market, Saudi market, and Lebanese market. We are participating within this campaign. We're participating in all big food exhibitions in this region. We participate in Horeca Lebanon, in Horeca Saudi, in Foodex Saudi. We participate, of course, in Gulf Food in Dubai, Specialty Food Festival, and Sial Middle East. So we cover all possible food exhibitions of this region within 3 years. 3 years is the time frame of the campaign. We also did some degustations in the supermarkets in Lebanon. We are also planning the degustations in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and also in Riyadh. Except this, we have organized groups traveling from Dubai, from Beirut and from Riyadh to production places to see how the products are made in Czech Republic, which standards of the production they follow, which range of the products they do, how they can repack, rebrand your requested product, whichever you like, from little creamers of 5 grams packaging to 5 kilos, 10 kilos packaging of yogurt or cream cheese, or whichever product you wish. So there is a customized size, there is a private label existing. So Czech Moravian Dairy Association includes more than 20 companies producing different dairy products in Czech Republic and exporting them internally, selling them internally and exporting them in Europe and elsewhere. 3 of the dairies which will be presented here very shortly. It is Hlinsko Dairy, it is Bohoshevice Dairy, and it is Podybrady Dairy. 3 of them with contacts on the brochures, on your tables, and in the gift sets. You can see their details, and you can see the little sign, the logo sign of the EU Milky Way campaign. That's the 3 dairies which will be present tonight at this event, and tomorrow and after tomorrow at the exhibition, to which you can address your questions regarding the any specific questions you have about the products or the packaging or delivery conditions. On the tables, of course, you have some samples of the products which you are free to enjoy during the presentation or after, or take them home. On your chairs, you have a gift set, also from kindly prepared also by the EU Milky Way campaign. Besides this, we have also informational campaign in specialized food magazines and on social medias, Facebook, Twitter, on some specialized media resources, also for hospitality industry and for food industry. We also invite all food stakeholders for cooperation with us during the exhibition, so we have plenty of meetings to explain what the dairies, the members of the association can produce for you, whichever flavor you can possibly discuss, whichever packaging you possibly can discuss, whichever conditions you can imagine, and discuss, of course, with them directly. The task of this dairy conference today is just to give you an idea of dairy products in general, to give you an explanation of what the dairy products which we are representing at this exhibition and tonight at the dairy conference, which are the products and what are the healthy benefits of them, and what we can cook with these products, and how we can use them in our daily diet, in our daily menu. After our few short words from each of us, then Chef Amit will show you how and what you can do with those products which we're promoting. And after this, we will have a beautiful dinner prepared by the chefs of this hotel for us. And during the event, during the dinner, of course, you're very welcome to ask the questions, either myself or any of the speakers or the dairy representatives which are coming. I will give you a little description of every product. Probably when we will have a cooking demonstration, I will help to Chef Amit with just a word on the side while he's cooking something. I will say a few words about each product. More detailed, of course, you can have it in the brochure or on the website. We have links on the website to each of the dairies, and which link you can have the full catalogs downloaded either in PDF or on the internet HTML format. So I would pass the microphone to another speaker, to Stephanie, which will say a few words about the health benefits of dairy products in general, how important dairy products are in our life.
Thank you. It's my great pleasure to be talking again at the European Milky Way Dairy Conference. I am a clinical nutritionist. That is really a study of sciences, a number of sciences that are related to health and nutrition. And some of the sciences are a little bit, have become a lot more high profile in the nutrition, or the effect on nutrition. Things like microbiology and immunology are having a much more marked effect on health. What we don't have, being scientists, is an absolute book that we follow that tells us what people should be eating, or what is the best way forward as far as health. We don't have biases as far as what foods are in and what is out. Nutrition nowadays is the new model for achieving good health, and that means trying to understand what foods you are eating and whether they best suit you. No. Right, we're going back to front. I do regard dairy, even though I'm from New Zealand and we're a big dairy farming nation, as the go-to food group. When people say that they have an issue with dairy or they cannot eat dairy, it's a real rod for my back because it is one huge food group. We know that dairy is the elixir of life. We cannot do without it. We start for the first 6 months of our life feeding our babies on dairy, and for a lot of them it's very, very hard to get them off it. It is exclusively the food that sustains life. It may well be the most nutritious of all food groups. It certainly offers a huge range of nutrients across a number of nutritional groups. It is extremely versatile, and it is probably the most maximized food. You can do so much with, or get so much from a glass of milk, which we will go into a little bit further. It is probably the most desirable food group, and one of the groups that one does not want to hear they have to cut out of their diet for some medical or health reason. And it is definitely the most debated. Some people have very hard and fast ideas about dairy, whether it is a good food or a bad food. And as a clinical nutritionist, I am very disappointed when I hear someone with my sort of science background saying that any food group should be cut out without some valid lab result or some major health effect. I'm the wrong way here. Dairy supporters, of course, think that milk is the best food. It is the perfect vehicle for transporting calcium. And then there are people who say that dairy, in fact, gets in the way of transporting calcium. But what we do know is that if you cut dairy out of your diet, you have got a hard job finding enough calcium. And it is the first thing that comes up when people find out that they may have an intolerance or an allergy, is whether they are getting enough calcium. For those people who say that dairy actually inhibits calcium absorption, I think they need to look a little bit more deeper into the whole effect of lifestyle, and we all absolutely recognise, especially in this part of the world, that low vitamin D status is has the biggest effect on poor calcium absorption. There's a number of reasons why vitamin D is very low. We're in a country with unlimited sunshine, but people are covering up. They are using sunscreens. They are not outside during the hot part of the day. They are also not eating as much oily fish, especially young children. And calcium is being depleted. You must have vitamin D. The other thing is that a lot of people have taken dietary cholesterol out of their diet by going, say, low fat or egg-free or meat-free, and you do need calcium, dietary cholesterol for vitamin D to then be able to influence calcium absorption. There are lots of other things about lifestyle that are important. Exercise, foods such as calcium, such as coffee and tea drinking binds up calcium. So the whole calcium debate is one that needs further looking into. But dairy is your best source of calcium and is going to have the biggest impact. Milk is an amazing product. It starts off as we know it, milk. It is predominantly water. It does have some carbohydrate. It has got a small amount of fat, a very, very valuable fat composition. The value of fat in milk, or which we know as butter, is that it has a fatty acid called butyric acid. It's extremely good for digestive health. and healing. And if you take the fat out, such as you keep eating low fat dairy products, you're actually losing an extremely valuable fat source, one of the most important for health. It is a very, very important food for protein, and again, if you're going to restrict dairy, you are taking out a very nourishing and satisfying protein food. It is full of vitamins and very, very important minerals, such as, apart from calcium, you've got magnesium, you've got zinc, you've got smaller micro minerals like manganese. There's more in milk than any other food. What we do, everyone is focusing on now, is protein. We know that protein is a very good food for us, and it's about how you can get it. Protein is essential for growth and for repair. So if you're not getting enough protein, then you are not going to be able to achieve certain goals. Repair is about healing, it's about neurotransmitters and brain boosting. The recommended dietary allowance for protein is quite low. It's about 0.6 grams of protein per kilo of your body weight, but it can go up to about 2 or 2.2. And for an average person, it's around 1 to 1.5 grams. So it's quite you really have to focus on getting enough protein in your diet, and you probably don't want to be just eating meat and fish and chicken all day. Again, high protein diets are not necessarily the healthiest diet, because the body has to deal with excess protein. Protein quality is very, very important, and the most valuable thing about dairy is that it has the whole range of amino acids. Animal products are much higher in amino acids, and if you do eat animal products in your diet, then you don't have to really go looking at combining different protein foods to get them all. If you are a vegetarian or vegan and you're not eating any animal products, you are most likely never going to be a bodybuilder, and you are going to find it very hard to put on lean tissue and muscle tissue in favour of probably building more weight tissue from fat. We talk about the proteins from milk, we know them all very well, but we may not understand them that well. Milk can be split, and it can be fractionated, is what we refer to it as. You can take the sugar out of milk, the lactose. You can split milk into whey protein, which is a very fast, easily absorbed protein, and very popular in people who are exercising, particularly after they exercise. That's the water component of milk. The curd component is the sort of the yogurt, then it gets matured into ricotta cheese, and then other soft cheeses, and then it matures further and further into cheese. The protein from that becomes more concentrated as casein, and you can also take casein as a bodybuilding protein. It's a slower release protein. It may be a better protein to take early in the morning or during the day, or even at night you can take it, but it is a slow release protein, whereas the whey protein is a very fast absorbed and muscle rebuilding protein. What I skipped over there was is dairy farming. Dairy farming is a very humane practice. There's lots of things about it that people misunderstand. They think that dairy cows are fed hormones. You always hear people saying, I do not drink milk or have dairy because of the hormones, and also antibiotics. But protocol, and it's extremely strictly regulated in the world amongst the countries that are the biggest dairy farmers, is that dairy cattle don't need hormones. They aren't there to be building muscle and bulking up. They're not meat-producing cows. They are dairy-producing cows. And so they haven't used hormones for a number of years, and it's not even beneficial. It is an inhumane practice. It causes lameness, infertility, and increased mastitis, which is not a positive thing when you're wanting to milk cows twice a day. If dairy cows do get mastitis and the cow is withdrawn from the herd, they are given antibiotics, but they do not rejoin or are not milked until that is clearly taken out. So the whole myth of hormones and antibiotics is exactly that. And I still hear clinicians and doctors talk about this sort of thing, and they are completely wrong. If there are hormones or antibiotics used, then they are not in the countries, or then it is not milk sold in the major supermarkets of the world. It's quite disappointing when you do hear these claims. What you can do with milk is absolutely amazing. Considering that it starts off as a glass of milk, it is separated, it is dried, it can be enriched, it can be heated into amazing products. Of course, heating doesn't actually destroy any of the nutritional content. It just makes it into something that is going to have a longer life, because they can kill off the bacteria or any other microorganisms that may make it a short life product. So it doesn't, as far as nutrition content, decrease at all. It just allows it to become another more desirable or equally desirable product. Yes, there can be sugars added to it, but if they are being used as an energy food, there is nothing wrong with that. The whey protein industry is a very exciting industry. When you do have some food intolerance to some part of milk or dairy, then the thing is that you can, if you know what it is or it is tested, you can actually still include dairy. It is a great food for just versatility, but also for your immune system, for good probiotics and bacteria. But you can actually choose which part of milk you can continue to have in your diet. Very rarely does whey protein come up as having a sensitivity or an intolerance for people. If it does, chances are that person is genetically not predisposed to be having any dairy, and that it is an enzyme functional issue with that person. It may be that they can work on that and get their health back on track, and that is the sort of thing that I do. Unless someone has an allergy and they definitely have a life-threatening issue with dairy, then mostly dairy is a food that you can work on, increase your function and your digestion, and be able to tolerate. As I say, when you take out a food group, and if there's only 5 of them, it is very, very hard to replace it, and especially when you're thinking about breakfast. So it is one of those foods that you really want to understand, and not just think because it's a trend that dairy is out for you. There are so many options, from yogurt to cottage cheese to all the other products that you will know well. I'm always staggered to see these new products that that Milky Way come out with, because they are quite exciting and very tasty. So the take-home message from me as a nutritionist is that dairy is a big part of the diet, and a good healthy diet. It may be that you have to choose which part of dairy you actually include in your everyday diet, but it is an everyday food. Some of the products may be more of a treat, but dairy on the whole should be part of a normal diet unless there is some validated reason to actually take it out.
We thank to Stephanie Carl, nutritionist. I hope that you got some ideas about dairy products in general and probably broke the myth you had in your head. I wish to give the words to Giuseppe Bonetti, our old partner. It doesn't look old, but it's our old partner, distribution house, which dealt with several countries, European countries, bringing their products to Emirates, and he's gonna say us a few words how easy or how difficult are the conditions to reach Emirati market.
Thank you, Andre. Thank you, everyone. Good evening. So, my name is Giuseppe, and I work for an European distributor here in the UAE. And I'd like to explain to each one of you tonight, as distributor, how much is important to keep the quality of products when they travel. One of the most used way usually to transport cheap products, and in particular dairy products, is trucks. Reefer trucks are quite easy for many ways. They are easy to load, they are easy to maintain, you can do multiple stops in delivering, so they definitely are the best way to transport dairy products. When do we have problems or issue with reefer trucks? Let's say we want to bring dairy products from Czech Republic to Dubai. These are about 6,000 kilometers, so that's about 60 hours of driving with no stops. So obviously we still don't have robots, somebody needs to drive the truck, so if that someone needs to sleep, we will need about 7 days to get the products from there to here, and then another 7 days to the driver to come back. So that's not an option. Being that not an option, freight forwarders and distributor came across new ideas and new methods to transport dairy products. And today, the most used way is with air freight. So food travels in the same exact plane as you do. So when you travel to your home country or to go on holiday, together with your luggage, there could be some cheese or some yogurts, and that's gonna be kept in the same temperature as the aircraft. So how do we ensure, and that's the most important thing, that the food keeps the cold chain from minute 1 to the end on our tables? What we usually do is when the goods arrive at the airport, between 6 and 8 hours after the product has been produced, we maintain and we put inside some thermo box that are made with carton or styrofoam, and then it's closed and thermically wrapped with a thermo cover. This doesn't cool the product, but it helps keep the temperature. What we do then is use some ice packs. Usually we use some effective coolant. It's about minus 60 degrees, so it's important not to keep it in contact with the products, to not freeze them. So this goes between the box and the thermo box. The entire process will ensure that the product will maintain the temperature that we want to for up to 48 hours. So this is very important for long trips like UAE or Saudi Arabia and all the Middle East coming from Europe. An important part is also to monitor all this cold chain, and that's why we are using some data loggers. This is a small device that you put inside the box, and every minute records the temperature. This means that when we receive the goods, with just a click in our computer, we are able to see if the product got exposed to heat or to -0 degrees. So I'm not going to be long in going into details. What is important to know is that today the dairy products can reach your table or your house within 24 hours from when it has been produced. So obviously this has an impact, a little impact on the cost, but you can be sure that when you buy something that's come from Europe or overseas, it has been transported in a proper way in order to not affect the quality and the taste of the product. So thank you very much and have a good evening.
Let me take back the microphone, and we're still waiting for Mr. Jiří Kopáček, the president of the Czech Moravian Dairy Association, whose presentation I just put on the screen, and I will try to flip through the slides and just briefly give you some information about the Czech dairy tradition. There are about 372 million of cows in Czech Republic and about 2,000 dairy farms. Every year, consumption of dairy products in Czech Republic is growing. Is higher than the average of European average. Integrated part of EU dairy industry is 35 dairy plants, which are members of the association, but 8,000 employees, and all of them, of course, follow the certification of HACCP and ISO, and the rest. As I said before, the EU Milky Way campaign promotes the Czech dairy products, in general, European dairy products in Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates and Lebanon. Why dairy products? Nature products is nutritional aspects, high quality, and food safety, and the specific production methods. This gave the reason why we should share the dairy tradition from Czech Republic, which goes ages and ages deep, to with Middle East. As I said a bit before, we promote milk powders, condensed milk, UHT milk and cream, UHT milk drinks with different flavors. Some of them you will see on the presentation table of Chef Hamid, and some of them you will probably see at the dessert buffet. Some of them you saw at the stand, at our stand at CL Middle East exhibition. We have also fresh dairy products to share with you, and this is the Greek yogurts type and skyr. Skyr is the special traditional dairy product, which cannot be called neither yogurt nor sour cream nor smetana, whichever closer word you can use. This is the Icelandic traditional dairy product. You must taste it, and then you will decide for yourself which is the closest relative you would bring it to. We have also dairy spreads, which are easy to use in the kitchen, very nutritious. We have dairy desserts. Many of them are on the tables, and some of them are on dessert table. We have also fresh cheese to present to you. UHT milk is the easiest way to preserve milk and keep it in the fridge or outside the fridge with up to 24 degrees Celsius. So I don't think that in Emirates you can keep it, let's say, or at home everybody will use their air conditioning, so it doesn't really go to 45 degrees. 45 is only on the street, so 45 doesn't get at home. There is also UHT cream, also presented at the table. Our chef Amit will show you, maybe he has some ideas what to do with them. We also have condensed milk, unsweetened and sweetened. There is flavors of cocoa and caramel and vanilla. Also can be used for coffee and tea. We have also milk drinks and sour cream, plain sour cream and with flavored sour cream as a dessert. We have Greek yogurt, plain one, 0% fat and higher fat content. And we also have Greek yogurt from organic milk, from bio milk, bio or organic, whichever definition you can use, both of them are equal. Greek yogurt, probably for many of you would be surprised to know why we use the word Greek, why we don't call it any other way. Greek yogurt is different to any other yogurt with the serious condition is that for regular yogurt you produce 1 kilo of yogurt from 1 liter of milk. For the Greek yogurt you need to take 3 liters of milk to have 1 kilo of Greek yogurt. So it's 3 times more intense, 3 times more flavorful and full of much more protein content. So that's the only difference. Let's say why you would ask me why are you using the word Greek? This is because this is the recipe. Why we still call it Greek, and thanks to Greece that we have this beautiful product to share without any shame using their word, because that represents the recipe of the product. I said already about the Greek yogurt with and without flavors plus skyr. That's the product on your tables. Please feel free to taste it, either now or later when we start our buffet. We have big range of curd and cream desserts for vegan adults and for children. All of them are suitable for children. I guess there is probably a limitation from 2 or 3 years for children to eat the adults' food. Yeah? Like I would say from 2 years old, you can easily give the curd desserts. Yeah. Well, I think the recommendation in all our brochures is about 2 years. But yeah. I don't know what it relates to. So there's a big range of flavors also at the table for you to check, and whatever is on the tables in front of you, it's to take home. We have also a big range of fresh cheese with different flavors, which Chef Amit will use for some simple snacks he's going to show us. We also have steamed cheese sticks, processed cheese sticks, very easy, very convenient packaging, also to give to your children to go to school, conveniently packed for any lunchbox, suitable for any lunchbox. We also produce milk powder in any packaging you can request. I guess would be reasonable to give the word to Chef Amit, which will show what he can prepare with the products which we're promoting. and then we can move to our dinner, because I guess everybody already starving and would be happy to actually eat whatever we are talking about the whole hour or more than an hour. So I'll give them. Chef has his own microphone. I'll set up the.
Improvised. People improvised in trying to keep milk and things for a longer period of time so that they could consume it and be enriched by their nutrients, which gave rise to the industry itself. Now you have a time when you have thousands and thousands of cheese, which are predominantly from different countries, different regions, different fat contents, so on and so forth. What I'm basically trying to say is, milk is a very essential part of gastronomy, as part of our diets. I was doing a demonstration a couple of years ago, and this lady, she gets up and she says, can we make this product without milk? And took me about a couple of minutes to understand the question, and then I said, I could, but you're missing out on a lot of good stuff in life. So without wasting much time, I'm going to start giving you a demonstration on what we're going to make today. For the first product that we're going to make is a cheesecake, okay? It's a cold cheesecake, which is made with cream cheese, okay? We have it right here. Cream, sugar, some Oreo cookies, okay? And some fresh fruits. Fair enough? So we're going to start with the first ingredient, which is the cream cheese itself. So here's about half a kg of cream cheese. And to this we will add 200 grams of sugar, which is fine sugar. I keep telling people not to eat too much sugar, but what to do? It's good sometimes. We're going to whisk that so that it becomes nice, fluffy, okay? When we continue this process, so we incorporate a lot of air and the entire mixture becomes very light and smooth. Also, continuing with this, the sugar itself will incorporate with the cheese and give a much nicer flavor. Again, at the same time, we have the whipped cream, okay, which is 150 grams of whipped cream. Now, because I don't want this presentation to go on and on, I have some prepared stuff as well. So I'm going to be basically briefing you on what the process is, and then I'll straight away jump on to what we actually do. So the first step, like I said, is you mix the sugar with the cream cheese. The next step is you have the whipped cream itself. Third step, we use gelatin. In this case, we will use 10 grams of gelatin mixed with water. We make it soft. And then we mix the ingredients together. We mix the ingredients together. Only this time, we will not be whisking it, we will be folding the whole mixture together. Now what this does is, it keeps the consistency, it keeps the air well trapped inside the mixture. And then you add the gelatin to this mixture. Separately, We take some Oreo cookies and we take out the cream. From these Oreo cookies, and we crush them to actually get a nice fine powder like that. Like I said, I already have some prepared cheesecake. So I will just simply run you through with what we did to get here. So this is basically one layer of the Oreo cookies. Then we put the prepared mixture on top. Now we obviously have a mold which will enable this to stay in shape. And then we top it up with the Oreo cookie crumble as well. Finally, we just add some color to our cheesecake. There's an old saying which says food that looks good tastes good, and food that tastes good looks good as well. So that's the idea about garnishing food. Just going to put some tiny bit of decorations on this to add a little more color. And that's it. Here you have your Oreo cheesecake, right? Do you have any questions?
Yes, about the gelatin.
Tell me, please.
Is it vegetarian origin or?
It's vegetarian, sir. Yes, totally. Yes. There is a very common misconception that gelatin is only derived from fish bones, which is not true. Or other bones of animals. Yes, that is very true. But now, things have changed. There are vegetarian options. There are things called agar-agar, which is from plants. It's a plant derivative. Also can be used to make the same cheesecake. Thank you. Moving on to the next product, we will, like Adriel said, the Greek yogurt. So I'll make a salad which will be has that much more flavor than regular yogurt. It actually, the salad comes out much nicer. So here we have some cucumber sliced, okay? We add the cucumber slice into our bowl. A very classical combination with cucumber and yogurt is dill, dill leaves. We can also use fennel, which is very flavorful, okay? And it's very healthy as well, okay? So I'm going to use a mixture of both actually, okay? So I have some dill, and then I have some fennel as well. I'm just going to break it roughly. To this, I'm going to add my Greek yogurt. Now one could also use a cheesecloth to hang the yogurt. It basically takes out all the excess moisture and water from the yogurt, making the yogurt that much more thicker, and it coats the ingredients that much better. We mix the ingredients together. To this, I'll have some salt. some pepper. Now you must be wondering, this is quite bland. Actually not, because what we can do to this is add some walnuts. So we're just going to take some walnuts, crush them. We're going to take some pomegranate. And finally, some sweet corn. And there you go. You have your salad ready. Now you could also add some feta cheese or halloumi cheese, which is very famous and appreciated in this part of the world. You can add that as well. So the third item that we're going to be making today is a sandwich. Now this can be a breakfast sandwich, it can be an evening snack, however one likes it. Very healthy, very quick to make. We can use a variety of different kind of breads, depends on what one likes. Multigrain, here in my case I've taken a focaccia. Okay? And then I've sliced the focaccia into two halves. Okay? To this, I'm going to put some flavored cheese spread. I'm going to be very generous with my portioning. They keep saying don't trust a skinny chef, so I literally make an effort to put on some. To this, we're going to put some avocado. Now a good avocado should be, you should be able to take it out from a spoon. You should not be using a knife to actually peel one. It should be ripe enough so you can actually use a spoon, yet you get a good nice finish when you take it out. I'm going to slice this. This I'm going to spread in my sandwich. Some salt and pepper. And I'm going to add some smoked turkey on this. Generous amounts of smoked turkey, and our sandwich is ready. Very simple. Now I'll finally make a dessert for you, which I don't really have to make because we have it ready here already. Okay. So brilliant chocolate and vanilla mousse. So, what I have here is a piping bag with a star nozzle, okay. I'll take these mousse. Try and put it on one side of the bag. Now this should actually be at a very cold temperature because the temperature, ambient temperature here is not very, very cold. It actually is trying to settle down on itself. It should not be the case. To this we add some all-time favorites, M&Ms that I personally love. Some fresh raspberries as well. Right? Thank you. I'll give the stage back to Andy. Thank you.
Hello again, everybody. I think that everybody was waiting this moment. We are closing our presentation, and everybody invited to the beautiful buffet prepared by the Hyatt Capital Gate and banqueting chefs. Magnificent buffet. Please make your way to the buffet and enjoy the evening. Thank you very much for participation, and the gift sets on the chairs are all for you. Thank you. One little question was after you take the food, can you please fill the questionnaires on the tables just in front of you? As soon as you filled it in, put it in the middle of the table. Thank you.
I'm happy to have
This, yes.
some bread, sorry.
So EUMW makes sense. It's hall number 7. Yeah, definitely. Let's go.
Somebody stole my tomato.
Yes.